Let's talk about it, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening. The name is Law Nation. Let's go. Mama said there'll be days just like this in the battle. Cowboys contract, money, momentum, Zack Martin, times, Trevon, Diggs. You dig? Come on. As the room fill up, be sure to smash the like button. Come on.
Fatality.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Come on. Notification SWAT all the way up, baby.
Law Nation, we are here live at SportsCon, and this was not just a good event, this is a great event. Let's watch. SportsCon code of conduct. Let's go. Damn we. Let's do it.
Because if Serena was a man, she'd be top of the conversation. Hold us in this fruit of the loom.
Bloody wankers!
Wait, one more thing. We still free them. We bring it through. Did we free y'all?
First off, rude.
The atmosphere. Everybody that's here, they don't like sports, they love sports.
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. This Cowboys season, off season, is about to head into training camp. And one of the things that I can tell you guys, that the Cowboys news tend to hit harder right before training camp. And why is that such a situation? Well, I'm going to tell you guys that, the 4-letter, the 3-letter network got to say something about it. And we are in a pickle. Why are we in the pickle? Because you got to pay everybody. You do. You flat out got to pay everybody. And one of the people that you got to pay is Zack Martin. Now, reports been said that, hey, he haven't showed up to minicamp. He wasn't really participating in OTAs. Granted, the NFL and the collective bargaining agreement and with the Players Association, you can't find those guys for that, but you for dog sure can find players when he get around to training camp. So will the Cowboys find Zack Martin? Yeah, they will find him because that's the collective bargaining agreement. So you really can't do like it used to do back in the days of holding out and seeing if you can put the feet to the fire. But one thing you can be is with the contracts, you can go out there and semi-participate. You can put on the face of, hey, I don't want to be here. I'm not valued. I don't see where you guys see where I am valued at. And on top of that, it can go all the way to the point whereas the Cowboys Jerry Jones and everybody, especially with the players, they can literally say, hey,
What you gonna do, Jerry?
show me the money, Jerry. Show me the money. Because at the end of the day, Zack Martin, 4 out of the 5 guys last season were hurt, were moved around like pieces on a chessboard. Zack Martin was the only guy that stood tall. He wasn't moved at all. He played every game, by the way, allowed 0 sacks from his position. You can count on your hand, one hand, on how many sacks he allowed in his professional career. So the Cowboys are in a pickle. Just when we were talking about good news, great news with Zack Martin, especially on the fact that this brother, hear me out, ladies and gentlemen, just got 99 ratings on Madden, right? I can't make this stuff up. So at the end of the day, not everybody's lying. The Cowboys must figure out a way to get in front of this. And I said earlier today, the best way to get in front of this would be just this right here, Cowboy Nation, would be just this. Extend Dak Prescott. Go ahead and get the money from him because he will account for $59 million against the cap next season. And on top of that, you got 2 more years guaranteed out of his contract. So the best way so that you can pay everybody, believe it or not, I get it for those who are out there saying that, hey, the Cowboys shouldn't pay Dak Prescott. Well, if you don't pay Dak Prescott, then there's casualties. There will be casualties. That means there will be no more Trevon Diggs. There will be a situation where you have to hit the reset button on Terrence Steele. There will be a situation and scenario that you may have to rob Peter to pay Paul to even pay CeeDee Lamb. So the main thing will be is out here, go ahead and take care of your mortgage first so that you can pay your bills. Sometimes you got to do that. So who out there took out a second mortgage on their home, right? Who out there knew that they can see some of the improvements that they can need to do within the confines of their home, and then they got to refinance? Who out there that did that? That's just what it is. And unfortunately, Cowboy Nation, that's just where we're heading to. Now, granted, I get it. A lot of people don't want to hear these things. They don't want to talk about these things. But the reality of it is that these are the truths of it. These are the realities of it. And the Cowboys must figure that out, unfortunately. Let me know if you guys are here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button, share this content. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you guys so much for being part of the nation and helping us grow. We're about a week and a half away from being out there to Oxnard to see those guys out there putting and bringing forth their best duty, right? And let me know if you're part of the notification squad. Shout out to you, Nicole. Appreciate you, BD Great. Thank you for jumping in. So that's what I'm saying. We finally got the news that this dude got a 99 rating, and now we also got the other news of this guy talking about from Adam Schefter about the situation that he could possibly sit out or hold out or what have you. And he's a 6-time Pro Bowler. All-pro guard, and not Pro Bowler, all-pro. That's above Pro Bowling, right? We, the Cowboys, need to figure this out. Everyone have a reason, but results is what matter. Look, here's how it's going to go down this way too, Cowboy Nation. And there's no other way around it, unfortunately. When you have these type of disputes, especially with the cash, especially with the money. All teams go through that. These owners, their mindset is to not pay you those big coins. Their mindset is to look at this thing and say, how can we get the lowest value out of anything to make the biggest profit? None of these conversations as it relates to contract are your friend. You're not. It's equivalent to the Black Widow, right? After the Black Widow get what it need to get from the spouse or what have you, she then partakes in eating him. And the players are the same way. I think the praying mantises do the same thing for those who out there who follow Bug's life or what have you. After the lady get what she want, After she get all what she need in order to survive, she then partake in eating of her spouse. Let me know of her mate, basically. And that's just what it is, unfortunately. Somebody says, Rhythm says, pay Zack Martin. You ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? He ain't lying at all.
He ain't lying.
You got to pay the man. And my thing is, if you don't, then you will be fooling around back into this whole thing of saying, oh, my goodness, how did we get to this point? How did we get to this level? Why in this situation the offense is not fluent? You know, the front five, the offensive line, that's the only unit that everybody got to be on the same page. No, if you have one person off, it can affect the entire team. So everybody got to be buying in to this particular rhythm. Ain't this right, rhythm? You know what I'm talking about when we say these things. Speaking of that, last night, shout out to the Final Word, shout out to my guys over there. We talked about the devaluations of running backs. Let's listen to what I had to say about that, and then I'm going to dive into this because this is all around the same conversational pool, and then we will circle back to Trevon Diggs' convo of what Dez Bryant had to say. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Here we go right here.
It's at the running back position. Those guys, the tread runs out on their tires the quickest.
Raise a question to you, Jesse, because your opening statement is very solid. Everything, you're hitting it right on the money. Let me open up by saying this. How often do these players meet with each other? Like the player union, when the players collectively meet together, how often do they meet together?
So you have, every team has a union rep. When I was playing, it was Brady James. So at the beginning of the year, Brady would call a meeting. Not everybody would even show to that meeting. Right? Especially the vet guys. They were like, oh yeah, we're already in. So guys would show up, and then guys like Brady James would say, all right, guys, here's what we're looking at. Hey, make sure you put money into, you're matching whatever your 401k, and then get this information. I mean, you may get 2 or 3 in a year, and most of the time you don't have your full team or collection of guys in those meetings. A lot of the vet guys like, yeah, been there, done that, heard this, heard that, and then they go out the door. It only comes when these situations, because I was also a part of a lockout season. It only comes then when it begins to impact your bread. Now everybody's full attention.
Pay attention to what I'm about to say now, Cowboy Nation, because this right here is everything. This right here will give you guys some further insight on chess versus checkers. And I truly believe that the Cowboys really, we don't have any control over this, but all of the 31 other owners, man, they are doing just this. Here we go. Listen in. This is the reason why I asked you that, because these owners, 32 of them, they are not billionaires by mistake. They meet up every quarter and they talk about the decision makers that they're going to do with these particular players down the line. And the only way that they can get in front of this, Jesse, believe it or not, is for those guys in the CBA to get in front of it with the running back room. I think that they need a specialized salary cap just for them, because they are utilized different. Not one size fit all with these players because of their lifespan is different. Running back lifespan is an average of 3 years. A quarterback can go 10 or more. So they need to have a different collective bargaining agreement with those players. And you can't get ahead of 32 billionaires just by meeting how they are meeting. On top of that, you got 63 players per team, right? 63 players. So those 63 players, even if the starting players not wanting to get out there and play, right, those guys, the 10 guys that's on the practice squad would say, shoot, give me that opportunity. No doubt. So when you got 63 players, that's 2,016 guys. That's per particular NFL organization. And when you say in this particular situation, all right, we're going to pay, let's say, for example, Saquon Barkley. He don't want to get paid the $12 to $13 million. And all of the running backs together say, you know what? We deserve to get that bag, get that corn, get that paper. Shoot, Eric Gray going to be looking at it like, shoot, I never seen $1 million before. I never seen $2 to $3 million before. I will run proudly for $2 to $3 million. There's people right now. Ain't that right, Rev? BD Great. Ain't that right, Cowboys Mac? You guys, if the NFL called you guys tomorrow and said, hey, man, Saquon Barkley is holding out. We need for you, Cowboys Mac or BD Gray, to fill in for about $300,000 to $1 million. Man, there's going to be some breaking news. Breaking news, BD Gray now signed with the New York Giants, and including me. The Jets could be calling me right now. Law Nation will put on that crazy green and white, and I'll be a Jet for $300,000 to $1 million. Shoot. So those are the issues that the NFL have because you got so many people. Cowboys Max says give him $1,000, give him a stack. You know what I'm saying? Now you got after the first day of practice, you're gonna be like, man, no, man, come on, man. You see how that linebacker came down? I got to give more than $1,000 though. But it's a situation and scenario that you got 2016 players out there that somebody is going to be willing to do that for less. And the reason being the NFL versus the NBA, you have smaller groups. And when you are smaller, you have a better impact. You have each other back. It's like a knot tied on a rope when people or the opposing forces pulling on you, right? It begins to become a little tighter. Everything begins to work out better for you. So those are the issues that we are seeing with the particular NFL and the CBA and the players.
I would play for peanuts. So there will be somebody that will be willing to cross the line. So that's the only reason why this type of product or this type of results don't happen in basketball, because you don't have 63 individuals, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
I think that this will be a situation that these owners, the 32 billionaires, not by mistake, will always be ahead of them. And by their crying and stuff like that, they will already say, hey, we let you smoke your weed. We give y'all this and that. You said that you want to have less practicing. We give you that, and we still got an extra game out of you. And we still want more and more out of you, So the NFL owners are playing chess while the players are playing checkers.
No doubt. So this is the truth right here. Appreciate you, Sanjay. Thank you. Wide receivers are just as easy to replace as running backs. Just look at the last year's rookie class. I do agree with that. But it's more measurable to see and to count the snap count for a running back, because when they get hit and the carries that they do, right? And the easiest position to learn in the National Football League, and I'm not saying that running back position is harder to learn, but it's easier to do running back juxtaposed to wide receivers, right? And the wide receivers are more of a glaring position than the running back because of on a Hail Mary, a 50-yard catch, or a consistent 15-yard catch down the field, that wide receiver will be more recognizable than a running back who's only getting 3 to 4 yards per carry. Not many running backs average 5 yards per tote, in which that would be kind of hard to do. Those are really kind of like Hall of Fame numbers if a running back can average anywhere between 5 and 6 yards per tote. So it's a different type of world. I see what you're saying, Sanjay, and I really thank you. But the reality of it is the NFL, the league itself, is looking at it like how they can strong arm these players. They're thinking 10 to 15 years in advance, whereas the players, they're not going to be here 10 to 15 years from now. I think the last time I heard somebody speaking glowingly and speaking hard about the CBA was Ryan Clark, and he got him a podcast now. He's no longer in the NFL. So the last time the collective bargaining agreement was available, he was in the league. So now that you see that, the NFL is smart and wise on the owner's side of it, because they are preparing and planning the future for those that's playing right now in college right now, for those who are still in high school and middle school, and the guys that's right here, like the King, King Henry and Saquon Barkley, they won't be around for the next collective bargaining agreement, the CBA. It will not benefit them. So it's going to take somebody who's willing to do this right here.
Sacrifice. Don't give up the fight.
But nobody's gonna do that though. When who was it? Shout out to everybody that's watching. What was the guy that played for the Steelers? Was he Le'Veon Bell that went from the Steelers to the Jets, had to sit out of a year? You know, nobody was sitting there saying, hey, man, we got Le'Veon Bell's back. You see, this all goes all the way back to the Le'Veon Bell. I think he was right before Todd Gurley got his coin, got his bag. But none of these players said, you know what, we're going to mend together. We're going to see what we need to get done with Le'Veon Bell so he can get the proper treatment. Nobody was sitting there on the line with Le'Veon. Everybody was like, shoot, I got to get mine. I got mine. Now you got to go get yours. And that is the hustling backwards mentality. And at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, at the same time, I don't blame him because Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley was looking at it like, that ain't my fight right now. I'm finna go get this coin. I'm finna go get this bag, right? Zeke, I'm finna go get this coin. I'm finna get this bag, right? Bell was blackballed, right? Yeah, after that, you know, hey, you speak out against 32 billionaires. You know what they gonna do, you know. And Le'Veon Bell was the first breed of running backs that can catch out of the backfield, still run in between the split, can do all of those things. He could literally been a slot wide receiver for you, right? And I know Marshall Faulk and all of those boys, they did their thing, but Le'Veon Bell was just as good. Not saying that he's Marshall Faulk, by the way, but you guys get with what I'm saying. Like, they refused to pay him, and they figured out that, hey, they can go into the draft and draft another Le'Veon Bell or pick up somebody that can do the same things that Le'Veon Bell did. Let me know, did the Steelers ever get some type of running back that was close to Le'Veon Bell? Can somebody help me out? Can somebody point that out to me? You know, so it is what it is. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank everybody for tuning in. Players say they are about brotherhood. Nope, it's all about themselves. Rhythm, man, you speaking the truth. He ain't lying at all, man. Come on. All right, Sanjay says, if the Cowboys, 49ers, or Eagles win the Super Bowl this year, it will be due to the running back and defense. This will reset the market. Well, to a degree, yes. Because at the end of the day, Tony, we're going to be like, hey, man, pay me, man. And I'm with the argument of this right here. You can get in front of this, right? And I'm not saying look at Tony Pollard as directly as a running back, but look at Tony Pollard directly like Deebo Samuel. You can literally get a discount out of Tony Pollard if you look at it from a different point of view, right? There's a coffee cup right now in my hand. You can't see it from your angle. But if I do like this, you can see it, right? You can see the coffee cup. And what I'm saying is the Cowboys got a prime opportunity to get in front of it. Now, granted, you will have your reservations because he's been injured in the last 2 seasons. I get all of that. But whatever Deebo Samuel can do, I truly believe, I could be idiotic or however you want to call me, but I truly believe from a coaching aspect, if you have the right tools in place, he can do the exact same thing that Deebo Samuel's doing for the 49ers, right? You just got to know how to utilize him. And you don't have to give the man 20 to 25 reps. And last night when we were talking, I was trying to bring up that same point. Because what happened, even with the Kansas City Chiefs, what's the kid, Clyde, right? He LSU kid or what have you. He was supposed to be their number 1 running back, right? He's supposed to be their end-all, be-all running back there, right? If I'm not mistaken. They went and got a Jerick McKinnon, right? They last year went and got a Ronald Jones, right? But Isaiah, he was the guy that everybody said, oh, wow, look at this. Look at this shiny car, right? Look at the smell good inside there. But it took levels of coaching. Eric Bieniemy, he's nobody to sneeze at as it relates to getting those guys out there on the field, play calling, and beyond, right? All of those things married together, they really didn't need to utilize Ronald Jones, right? Jerick McKinnon was still there. They utilized him in spurts, but they didn't have to lean on Clyde, right? So all of that, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. Appreciate you, JT. So they didn't have to really lean on that. No way. So when you start thinking about that is life in general. Buy low to sell high. You got a locked-in contract situation now with, hear me out, Isaiah for the next 3 to 4 years under dirt cheap pricing, no matter or regardless of his level of production, right? You can pretty much let Clyde go. Whenever his contract is up, you can pretty much let Jared McKinnon go whenever his contract is up because you're not bought in or sold in to those boards anymore because of what Isaiah did. And even when it's 3 to 4 years out, you can do the same thing for Isaiah. They went and drafted a guy, generic, I forgot his last name. But that's just how it goes, unfortunately. And that's what the Chiefs did. That's exactly what the 49ers are going to do. And that is exactly what the Eagles did, even with Sanders. He's gone. They're not hanging over his head and saying, do we pay him, right? They picked up DeAndre Swift as well as the other kid who can't stay healthy. I forgot his name at the tip of my tongue. But they picked up guys to re-solidify that role for losing out on Sanders. And in a situation, they're sitting back and they're betting and hoping that those boys can stand tall when it's needed to be. Now, the Cowboys, the reason why I say all of this is because in 2021, if they really wanted to keep my guy Tony Pollard for a longer stay, then they should have introduced him to a contract then. What if I told you, and this was my whole argument or debate with my guy MJ and as well as Swayze the other day. I was saying that basically, even if you were to go and give Tony Pollard a 3-year deal in 2021, it would have still been cheaper than the guaranteed money that you can't prorate now for the $10.5 million that they paying him now. So, Rashard Penny, appreciate you, Game Bomber, appreciate you. So that's just how the contracts of the situation work. I think that smart teams shy away from paying their star guys those franchise tag, right? On top of that, because of the fact that you can't prorate it, because you can't spread that money out. Don't you guys know that $5 or $6 million, if it's given in a confines of even a bonus or what have you, we can be giving and spreading that money out even to Zack Martin. And we wouldn't even be talking about this. There's $20 million or close to $21 or $22 million in between Dalton Schultz money, as well as my guy Tony Pollard money that you can't spread out anymore. Dalton Schultz last year got $11 million, and my guy Tony Pollard is getting $10 million now. That's $21 million. That voided area space, ladies and gentlemen, could have been money utilized to spread out Zack Martin, money utilized to be put towards my guy Trevon Diggs or my guy CeeDee Lamb. But by the way we are handling this money now, once that money is gone, the guarantee part of it, by putting the people on the franchise tag, there's no way to recoup said money. If you guys following me where I'm going with this. So that's the problem. That is the issue. Leaning on those franchise tags and not willing to get in front of the players and being able to pay these guys before they get disgruntled and say, okay, let's counter with a no trade clause, right? Because I think that truly you still have to have the ability to trade players too. Now, the two crippling things, even with Dak Prescott and my guy Ezekiel Elliott when he was here, were the no trade clause on the contracts. Meaning that even if you don't like the production that they're exhibiting, you can't even get rid of it, right? You can't even move on from it. You can't even entertain it with someone else. And that is me being fair and balanced with the situation. Even if you wanted to get rid of Ezekiel Elliott, not saying that people were beating down the door for him, you couldn't have done it, right? And even the same breath, if you wanted to get rid of Dak Prescott, not saying that the Cowboys want to, by the way, you can't do it because of the confines of the argument, because trust was given away back when you put the franchise tag on the player multiple times. if you guys get what I'm saying. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. All right, so the next conversational piece of it, and we will open up the phone lines. Be prepared to jump on in, of course. This is the conversation circling back to my guy, Trevon Diggs. Dez Bryant was on his space, and shout out to Kevin Gray. He kind of captured the audio there, and we're going to present it so that everybody can understand this for context. Me personally, what I say to you, you don't have to echo it to no one, right? That's just me personally. So if I'm having a conversation with Trevon Diggs, I want that conversation to be between me and Trevon Diggs if I'm the bigger brother giving the advice. Now, I'm not saying that Dez Bryant is wrong for talking about this and peeling back the scab, because maybe Dez Bryant and Trevon Diggs got their relations to say that, hey, let me talk about this. Let me give the people the temperature and the atmosphere of what's going on within the confines of the Cowboys conversation as it relates to these contracts. But to me, a contract dispute will always, it's going to be one winner and one loser. I don't think that there will ever be a situation that it's a tied thing, and that's just me, because once the information is out, you can't put it back into two. All right, so this is what we got right here.
Say this. Me and Diggs we've been talking, and I just tell you some of the things that I've been saying to Diggs. Diggs, you've done something that a lot of cornerbacks have not done, in their first 3 years in the NFL. Name one cornerback besides the cornerback 81. What's his name? Dick Train? That was him, right? Dick Train, right? In 81, who had the interception record.
Yes,
right?
sir. Dick Train Lane.
Yep. And nobody has done that. And I told Diggs, and I'm not gonna get too deep in our conversation, but I've told him, I said, hey, you don't compromise that. You don't compromise that. And you said something about I was just going to get into too much details, but I'm not. But I just told him, you don't compromise that. I say this, he is not trying to knock them across the head. I will say that.
That's good.
And I will say they're not trying to be fair to him. And I feel like what he's asking for, he is rightfully deserving of that contract. I believe it should all be guaranteed. That's my opinion. I'm not going to get into full details of our conversation. So it might not make sense, but I'm proud to be able to have those conversations with him because I understand what he's going through. He's never been in that position before. He don't understand his value. He don't understand who he is. He don't understand what he truly means to that organization. He loves the game of football.
No doubt. And that advice of he should get a fully guaranteed contract and understand the value of who he is and what he means to the organization, that level of understanding. Yeah. He should know that, right? But should the world know that? Should the world also see that side of this conversational, saying that, what they're trying to offer is not all the way fair to you, right? Because I've seen other players being offered X, Y, and Z. And this is the excerpt that my guy Kevin Gray wrote up too of what the transcript basically paraphrasing Trevon Diggs' contract situation on his personal corner spaces, and says that he and Diggs have been talking. Bryant says Diggs is not trying to knock the Cowboys across the head, meaning that he's not trying to rob them. He's not trying to take out all of the money from them. But what he's trying to say here is basically that the Cowboys and Diggs are not on the same page, although they agree with each other about getting paid. Hold on. Let me turn this down a little bit. Although they agree about not getting the same money or what have you. So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, I would say this. Don't display your conversations to everyone. Don't let everyone into your conversation. Your argument is what I'm trying to say in short, before I was distracted. I would say this, Cowboy Nation. it's going to get brutal before it get better. And the only way that the Cowboys can figure this out a better way would be to go ahead and to extend another player, and that will add more and more resources, more and more money into the pool. It will. All right, so Cowboy Nation, let's tune in. We got the phone lines. We'll open them up for everyone. Appreciate everybody for being part of this connection here, and I thank everybody. Brought to you by SportsCon. Appreciate everybody and beyond. Thank you and you. Thank everybody for being part of this. 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. Appreciate everybody. Let's go. Come on.
Calling bluffs, I show and prove it, it's for real. Son of God, not a son of Sam. Keep it off the books and keep it coming in. It's the old
657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. All right, so with that being said, too, Cowboy Nation, keep this under your mental. That the NFL do stand for not for long. And there would never be a situation that the player that you love more than you like, right, is going to stay on your team forever. We've seen some greats go to another team, which was one point of time part of your team. But in actuality, that's just the nature and the flow of business. And if the players understand that, right, the owners know that, the fans should too. The fans should too. All right, so I got the first caller of the day from the 908. You're live on the hotline on the Nation. Brought to you by SportsCon. 908, you're live.
This is Swayze, the objective Cowboy.
Objective analysis Cowboy guy. Talk to me, Swayze. Talk to me.
Yeah, I just want to say I enjoyed the conversation that you had with Jesse Holly. Jesse Holly basically had the same viewpoint that I said yesterday. Not saying that Tony Pollard's not a good player, but again, like you have to see which resources, which positions should get X amount of resources. It is a they are in the business of being profitable, and they also in the business to see which budget cuts or which resources go into which positions. And at this current time, the way the rules are, they don't feel like in that particular position needs a lot of resources to it. So that's just basically what it is. Like, it's not something that we can cry over it. We can argue about it between each other.
Right.
The fact is, that's what the whole NFL is in agreement with all 32 owners. Like, and so unless the players are willing to, have another lockout season, or all running backs just say, all right, we're not going to play anymore. I think as fans, like, we should just stay out of that conversation. And like, if they're not willing to help out each other, why are we wasting our time and energy to try to help them as well?
You hit the nail right on the head, because we as fans, we don't. Technically, the NFL is designed that way, right? We don't really care about the person behind the helmet. We just want to win, and we just want to win. We want to see this game, and we want to see these guys win. And as far as the money aspect of it, they making more money than somebody working at Walmart, right? Or being a UPS driver. And for them to argue about this,
working in corporate
office, yeah. So they're playing a game. And there's 2,016 people that's in the NFL, and the moment they say, well, hey, Tony Pollard no longer want to play because of $10 million, or Rico, or anybody, shoot, they can call you or me and say, well, Long, we got $300,000 on the table for you to play right now. We're going to get up and we're going to get out there and play.
Yeah, because it's not like the NBA. The NBA is in a different it's a different story. The reason why those players are getting so much money, because the NBA is geared towards personality and superstardom, while the NFL is much more team-based, is much more military-aspect. Like, there's much more of a coliseum factor that goes along with that particular league. So that's why I think it's never going to kind of change unless we have an anomaly like another Barry Sanders, or someone like a Derrick Henry who got paid, or like Ezekiel Elliott who he had like 1,500 yards his first year, like those type of players. unless we had those type of anomalies, I don't see any running back getting paid more than, $5-6 million a year if they're not on the tag.
No doubt. And his new NIL agreement with the colleges, man, by them being able to get money now. I know some students right now, they paying $25,000 per semester, right? So so now do you leverage, okay, do I rush to get out of the NFL? Get out of college to go to the NFL, or can I manage to make the $25,000 per semester, get my degree, and slowly get myself into the NFL and understand that the NFL, not for long, 3 to 4 years max, that I can go get this extra money and then fall back and do maybe, communications or find and start up my own business or personalize my own brand and make millions of dollars that way, like the Pat McAfees of the world. So yeah, there's ways.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like I'm not about to cry over someone that's making
no doubt.
Like, and not able to leverage that money to make even more money outside of football. That's just me. Like, especially a person that runs their own business as well, like a property management business. So. I'm just not going to cry over it. But as far as the Zack Martin situation, just to gear towards that conversation, I do not agree that we should pay Zack Martin. He has 2 years left in his contract, this year and next year. He's 33 years old. Again, this is football, where Zack Martin I'm not going to say Zack Martin been hurt a lot, but recent years he had nicks and damages along his career. To be honest with you, we shouldn't pay someone for what they did in the past. We should pay someone for what we should expect in the future. And a person that's 33 years old, it's a young man's game. It's getting more. It's more people that's coming out of college. It's much more bigger, faster guards out there who can run out there on screens and things of that nature. I just don't think that we should give him what he wants. Like, to be honest with you, I think if you want to hold us hostage because you're mad that you signed a contract 5 years ago. That's on you. You signed a contract 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's like Dallas Cowboys getting mad that, Dak Prescott. It's just the same type of conversation from the other side. The Dallas Cowboys got mad and say, damn, we paid him too much. He wasn't even worth it. I.e. Ezekiel Elliott. We just have to deal with it. You have to bite the bullet. But the fact is, Martin, you signed a contract 5 years ago. You're getting paid $14 million this year. You're the ninth highest paid guard in the league. And don't get me wrong, you outplayed your contract. But the fact is, age factor has to go along with what the situation is. You're 33 years old.
Well. At the same time, it's a conundrum. So if you got a disgruntled guy, he got to still honor his contract because of how the new CBA, once again, the owners got in front of this and they made it such a hard thing to do to hold out, right? And the only reason why Saquon can hold out because technically he's not under anybody's contract. But the CBA, these owners, like I said, are 5 to 10 years ahead of these players. So either he's going to play on his contract and be mad and pissed off about it, or the Cowboys can cave and go ahead and give him what he's wanting. Now, the problem is with this, and a lot of people not going to like me in this situation, you don't have a no-trade clause from what I know on the Zack Martin. And you can start willing and dealing. I'm not saying that, don't y'all shank me with the butter knife. But you can start willing and dealing that part of it and get something back in return from him. I'm not saying that's the right way to go, but that is an option if you want to be that type of organization.
And he has 2 years. I'm not saying trade him before this season. I think it's too late. We're going in training camp. We're trying to tend for a Super Bowl this year. The NFC is kind of weak this year. I'm not saying trade him this year, but next offseason, you should start looking at different options. That's all I should say. Sometimes as Cowboys fans, and we've been doing this since we won those 3 championships in the 90s, we've fallen in love with the players, and we want to keep them forever. We want them to retire a Cowboy. But that's not today's league in 2023. Today's league is more so geared towards Monopoly, like the game of Monopoly. You have to will and deal and try to get something back in return that it can last you another 5, 6, 7 years. That can extend your window. It's just common sense, to be honest with you. For instance, when we signed Marion Barber, remember when we signed Marion Barber early, and he was trash after that. When we signed Des Bryant early, Des Bryant, he deserved his money. He was trash after that. You have to learn from your mistakes, and thankfully, I think that's what Stephen Jones is doing. To be honest with you, can Stephen Jones be a little bit cheap? Yes, I think in certain situations, Stephen Jones can be a little bit cheap. But the fact is, I'd rather have a cheap Stephen Jones than someone like a Jerry Jones in the early 2000s, because we've been through that situation. We was paying players and they was past their prime, or I'm not gonna say past their prime, but we was paying them for what they did in the past and not what we expected for them to do in the future. Now, the two people I do expect us to pay top money, I don't care what they ask for. They can ask for a spaceship. We need to pay them. And that's Parsons, that's Trevon Diggs, and that's CD Lamb.
And you know why? You know why you can say that loudly? You know why you can say that loudly? Because of the age of the player. Because if Michael Parsons was 30 or 33 years of age, then you wouldn't be saying that loudly, right? All of those guys are I think all of them that you just mentioned are under 25.
Exactly. You need to pay them immediately, top money. Like it's not something. It's a discussion. Like Steven, like when you played the clip with Des Bryant, I hope Des Bryant was exaggerating the situation. I hope they're not dumb enough not to pay Trevon Diggs top cornerback money. He needs to get paid top cornerback money. He hasn't even hit his prime yet.
He hasn't.
Like, come on, guys.
I appreciate you, Swayze, so much for calling in, bro. Thank you, man, for your objective analysis, by the way.
No problem. Like, yeah, I'm be calling in a little bit more. It's football season, so
no doubt, bro.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate, but all right, see you.
No doubt. And that's the conversation that you don't want to hear, ladies and gentlemen. Getting rid of a player that's been a staple piece for this team. But I would prefer if you can get something back in return versus paying over too much or end up cutting the player after they get hurt or what have you. I'm still pissed off a little bit by even the La'el Collins situation. We didn't get nothing back in return. The money that we saved could have been utilized and spread out and holding the Cincinnati Bengals feet to the fire, right? So, and especially when knowing that they needed an offensive lineman guy, right? We could have waited to after the draft or what have you, but that's a whole nother storyline. So collectively, I want you guys to take off the goggles of, hey, Cowboys, and look at the business aspect of it and say to yourself, how can we win out of this deal, right? How can we not sign a player under a contract with the no trade clause again? How can we get in front of this and paying the player before it's too late, right? Those type of things is what you need to do, right? And granted, y'all already know Zack Martin, he's the end-all be-all on that offensive line, right? He is the everything, the glue that holds everything together. Now, if the Cowboys can make some type of concessions to make them happy to be here and say, okay, we're going to figure out a way to extend this guy and let this be the last team he play for forever, then I'm all down for that. But how you do that is especially by going into someone else's contract, right? And that will be by the name of Rain Dakota Prescott and extending him to a point and to a degree where you can pay all of those people that you want to keep. Or you can sit back and say, well, we can't pay anybody. We're gonna let this be what it is. Terrence Steele, walk. Tyler Biadasz, walk. Trevon Diggs, walk. Because we got to pay Dak Prescott. Unfortunately, right? And that's just what it is. That's just what it is, and this is how it goes. I got my guy JT from the 260. You're live.
Can you hear me, Law?
Hey, man, I can hear you, man. Talk to me, bro. What's on your heart?
Okay, so the whole situation with Zack Martin, I feel like it's kind of interesting, but I'll say this though. This has been probably the best guard of his era, like since he came into the league.
Right.
So I get it from that standpoint, just because it's like, look, I've been the guy basically for like a decade now.
Right.
I think the only issue I would have with it is like he's starting to get old though, bro. Like the Zack Martin is starting to get older in age, so that may be part of the reason why I look at it like. I mean, I get it, but maybe that's something you could have asked for like a couple of years ago, maybe. Like, because right now we're in a situation where we've got a lot of young stars on our team. We have to prioritize. Well, for starters, we got to prioritize Michael Parsons. Like he's the guy where you just give him what he wants, Law. That's kind of how it goes. But
yeah,
Zack Martin is kind of part of the. I mean, he's stuck in the middle a little bit because he's sort of part of the old regime, Law.
The only thing is, and I can see people right now furious. They got red eyes now looking at you saying this. But would you rather be 2 years too early or 2 years too late? That's the thing, and that's where Zack Martin is at. You know, either you're gonna be 2 years too early of getting something back in return, or you're gonna be 2 years too late trying to get back something in return, and it end up being something disrespectful, like a fifth and a sixth. Or right now you can get probably 2 firsts. You know, I promise you, if I'm looking at the Cincinnati Bengals, and they've been talking about how horrid their offensive line been for the last 2 or 3 years, knowing that they got a franchise quarterback, and knowing that they got this wide receiver, and of course a whole bunch of other things that they can say, and they can probably think that they can be an offensive lineman away, I'm quite sure that they can be all in and say, we will give the Cowboys 2 firsts and pay Zack Martin the rest of his contract. But then there'll be kind of like working backwards because we got our franchise quarterback, etc. But go ahead.
So yeah, the other thing, I'm actually glad that I forgot who was actually talking about Trevon Diggs on the video, but I'm actually glad that more people are starting to stick up for Diggs because he took a lot of punishment 2 years ago. Now, and I don't mean like on the field, like punishment. I mean it's like in the media.
True.
Nobody to me thought that Diggs will become the player that he is, which is one of the best defensive backs in the league. Like, I just think what a lot of people, I think, have to stop with, we got to stop with this narrative of how many yards you give up. Like, we really have to stop because we got to look at it like this, right? If you play a defense that's a more aggressive defense where your corners just go after everything,
right?
Yards given is just going to happen. Like, that's just, like, I think people, what they're doing, because obviously we saw the Seattle Seahawks defense back in the day where they barely gave up any yards, like, where their corners and safeties just plastered the heck out of you, and, like, you don't give up. But, again, that's rare. Like, you rarely see a defense with corners that big, that physical, where you're just not getting any yards. Like, that's almost no defense, actually, that we've seen in the last, like, 10 years or so. Like, that's not. Most defenses, even if you have good corners, are gonna give up yards. Like, but
the difference is, JT, is that those Seattle teams back in those days, they had Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, and right. I'm not saying that on the back end to help out those DBs. Now, I'm not saying that Malik Hooker can't be our mini version of what Earl Thomas did, and whoever else like Dono can be that version of Earl. Chancellor or Cam Chancellor, but what I'm saying is that teams are just different, man. The Steelers team and the Seattle team and all of those teams with good defenses back in those days, the Ravens team is just different than what we gonna do.
Right. Well, and I even go back to like the late 2000s Broncos, like even
right.
And the reason I say the reason I say the late 2000s Broncos is because the early 2000s Broncos had John Lynch. Like, that guy you're talking about, kind of like Cam Chancellor, who just was the hammer back there. Like,
right.
When John Lynch retired and they got an older Brian Dawkins, you started to see, like, Champ Bailey and I think Dominic Foxworth starts to give up more and more yards.
No doubt.
And that's because you have to have safeties back there. Like, people, the narrative that Trevon Diggs, and again, we understand, like, he'll give up yards. Like, that. At this point, we understand that's just going to be a part of his game. Like, he's going to get interceptions, and sometimes he gets burned. Like, that's just a part.
It's the circle of it, man. I appreciate you, JT. I thank you so much for calling in, fam.
Salute to you,
Good call from him, man. I think that Diggs, whatever they're going to pay Diggs, they should get ready to pay him. I think that whatever Dez Bryant said as it relates to the offer not being genuine, and even Diggs saying that, hey, he's not asking for the world. Well, we'll find out what is the world, of what he's really asking for as this process goes through. And that is the point of negotiating. It never should get easy. And for those who are out there, never take the first offer. Nor the second. Continue to countering, and there's no rush to it, right? Because at the end of the day, if I'm Diggs, I'm sitting back saying, shoo, the longer you wait, that price of that bag is going up, baby. It's going all the way up because I'm tending on being better than what I was last year. I'm planning on, if this defensive front is even better, right? And I got another lockdown corner on the other side. What you think I'm going to do? You think I'm going to regress? No. Shoot, pay me. So the good feeling is still on Trevon Diggs' side. The sweat and the pressure, technically, is still majority on the Cowboys side. All right, we got a lot of people in here today. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I got from the 760. You're live on the Nation.
Hey, how's it going, my man?
Oh man, big time, man. Everything is well, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. As far as Diggs concerned,
I forgot who I'm speaking with, man. This is your. Let me save you in here. What's your name?
Oh man, this is Alfredo.
Alfredo.
I'm from Indio, California.
Alfredo, man, appreciate you, man. So talk to me, man. What's on your heart?
I feel like Diggs should try to get as much as he can. I mean, he's worth it. I don't blame him for that. You know, Zack Martin as well. If you take out, I don't know why people bring up Dak when it comes to this situation. I understand you gotta extend him, so let's do it.
Well, the reason why they bring up Dak is because he's the actual mortgage. It's $60 million, and the Cowboys are looking down at that sheet and saying, they only got a spoonful of money over here to pay somebody, right? It's not enough money to pay anyone. So the only way that you can come down from that $60 million is to extend him, right? And make that $60 million go away, because it's really 59, but to make that money go all the way down to 20 to 22, and you can extend it for 3 to 4 years, and then you will have the rest of that money to put and apply toward Trevon Diggs, Terrence Steele, Tyler Biotish, even my guy CeeDee Lamb. That's the only reason, you know. But if not, then there's going to be a very hard cap because there's no more space.
For that reason, I agree. Because
right.
Trevon Diggs is, to me, that's the most important position in our team. The cornerback position is more important than the quarterback position. I don't care what anyone tells me. I've always been that way, you know what I mean, ever since I was a kid. When I draft in Madden, the first player I get is a cornerback, a lockdown, and I win a championship every time. So, to me, that's the most important position. We need to get him no matter what. Zack Martin as well, because all I hear from Dak fans is we need to win the battle in the trenches, right?
True. So that's
how
all throughout football. Yeah, go ahead.
How are we going to do that if we trade Zack Martin?
Let me, all right, I'm gonna try the best way I can, but who's the Zack Martin on the 49ers?
Trent Williams.
Well, and he's a tackle. He's not inside as guard, you know. And who's the Zack Martin on the Cincinnati or the Chiefs? So what I'm saying is that a lot of this stuff do center around how do you put up scheme? How do you develop your guys to win in spite of said X, Y, and Z guys? You know, we've been so comfortable with the Jason Garrett administration to have Hall of Fame levels of players on every level in order to win. We needed a Hall of Fame guy on the offensive line. We needed a Hall of Fame wide receiver. We needed the doggone Hall of Fame tight end. We needed excellent guys to help alleviate some of the weak spots of coaching. But great coaches figure out ways to put their players in right and proper positions to win. Now, I look at Dak Prescott. Do he need weapons around him? Yes, I would be the first person to say that, right? But also, Dak Prescott needs a strategy and scheme. When you say that when you play on Madden, right, and your first person that you pick is a shutdown, lockdown cornerback, right?
Yes, sir.
That means that on the sticks, you must be cold-blooded with the type of quarterback that you play, because you don't have the Aaron Rodgers. You may not have the Pat Mahomes, but you figure out ways to win because you play with a scheme or a system or a strategy. You just don't drop back and expect your quarterback, if he have a Chad Pennington arm, to throw Hail Marys all game. So it's all about strategy and scheme, even in the professional world.
Well, I agree. We can win with Dak. That's not an issue. He don't need to be Pat Mahomes. You know, we can win with him. But we need Diggs, bro. And Zack Martin, both of them. we can't trade one and keep one. I'd rather have Zack Martin than Terrence Steele. We can find a right tackle. We found Smith, Tyler Smith, like nothing. We can find another elite tackle.
Well, I mean, that's why we're gonna have to figure this out, and that's what makes it fun, right? At the end of the day, the Cowboys' decision on how they handle and operate these contracts, so we can talk about it. At the end of the day, give us some type of content to go back and forth with into training camp. But I appreciate you, Alfredo, man. Thank you for calling in, man.
God bless you.
All day, man. Appreciate you, man, from the 760. But you guys get what I'm saying. I get what people may say. Hey, the center is the most important position of all of football, right? Without a center, you can't get the ball off, right? And I think that person could be right. I remember Andre Gerard, he would hike the ball over Tony Romo's head every time, right? But he was very important. He was very important. I think he made two Pro Bowlers and one All-Pro, right? But the actuality is that we can make an argument for every player being the most important. But 9 times out of 10, the mortgage will always fall on the quarterback. That's why your guy Andy Dalton could be stealing money right now, and they will still figure out a way to continue him being a mercenary, right? A backup quarterback. I think he's getting paid $10 to $11 million. Ain't nobody saying that, hey, man, why are you paying Andy Dalton $10 to $11 million? That money could be going to Saquon Barkley, or that money could be going to any tight end or running back. But the quarterbacks always gonna. Here's how I look at quarterbacks, and before I let the next caller on, everybody else in the position, they devaluate. They depreciation rate is higher. Believe it or not, quarterbacks, they appreciate in value, right? Because people say, well, he got 5 and 6 or 7 years in the league. Oh, he's well with this system. You can have a quarterback to be a journey backup quarterback for 12 to 14 to maybe 15 years, and they will still say, hey, man, this quarterback, he's still seasonal, right? He knows the plays. He knows the playbook. Hey, give him a good protection up front. He can probably claw out and win you a game. Right? So that's how this is. I can foresee that even for, let's say, Matt Ryan. You know, he could be a journeyman after his career is over with, being a mercenary, a backup quarterback, and still get $12 to $13 million. But not a running back. No. I got DJ, upstate New York. You're live.
Yo, what's going on, man? What's up, man? Well, man, you guys are disappointing me today, man. Oh, man. I was so happy I got in this line. What's going on? So Zack Martin, so we're not going to fix this problem real quick? I don't know why we're having this problem, Law. I don't even know why it's even a discussion. Like, yo, who's gonna take a spot? Someone's going to take a spot, Law, please.
Matt Farniak.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my! I almost had a hernia when I heard this guy talk about actually our best player. You gotta be kidding me. Our best player you want to trade or even think about trading? That line, he supports that line.
Right.
Zeke Elliott loves it. Every time we're on the goal line, who are we going behind? Zack Martin.
Every time.
100% time. So now he's upset. You don't worry about Jerry. Better go fix that. Jerry better go fix that quick. We do not need that problem. You would think about trading him. Are you kidding me? He's 32. He hasn't fell off All-Pro. Solid. You automatically put him in that spot at All-Pro, no matter what you're talking about. I don't care what anybody says. He's the best guard in the league, hands down.
Hey, DJ. I agree with you 1,000,000%. Now, there are people that handle these situations differently. Me, not a soul would know. You know what I'm saying? If I covered Zack Martin that way, just like I working hard this past weekend, right? And when I came home, my lady gave me that look. I already knew what I needed to do, right? I started washing the dishes. I started folding up clothes, cleaning the streets up, cleaning the doggone floor because I left her to go put in some work. Y'all know I was sweating out there at Sports Connection. And she was left with the 2 kids, you know what I'm saying? The little one was throwing up and boo-booing all over herself. So I already knew that from the countenance on her face that I got to do the honeydew list. I got to make good, you know what I'm saying? So I roll up my sleeves and I didn't even have to say anything. I said, oh shoot, she upset. I've been out on the road all day. So the first thing I started vacuuming and cleaning up and everything. But one thing I didn't do is took it out to the street so everybody can see her being mad and angry at me, right? And now guess where I'm at now, fam?
Where are you at?
I'm on the right side of things now, baby. Because hey, that's just how you got to do. That's what you got to do. So the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, got to get on the right side of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. You got to go take a trip down to see him wherever Zack Martin is.
Wherever he's at. And take him out to eat.
And he need to stop by. He need to stop by and give Diggs a hug, too. Like, all right, come on, chill out. You're going to be fine. You know, and CD already knows, too. We're going to be fine. We're about to get in the season. We have a lot of expectations and a lot of things we got to do.
Yeah.
We don't need to worry about this right now.
Yeah.
We need to suit it up. So, listen, Diggs, we got Tyreek Hill. We got who else? We got Aaron Rodgers. We got all of them. You're going to show your worth this season. I promise you that. So don't worry about getting paid. Don't even talk. Just get, you got, oh, my, he's got a, what? He can't go. We got Gilmore on the other side. They got to come to him. They got to come see him, Law.
Yeah.
He's going to show it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you spitting the truth. So my only thing is, damn, why Adam Schefter? Like, it had to be that Adam Schefter reached out to Zack Martin's people and said, what's really going on? Why him not being at OTAs and training camp? Can you give me a little something? You know what I'm saying? And then how the report is speculations. It's not saying that Zack Martin, he never came out and said that he's going to hold out or what have you. This could all be, dare I say, only speculations.
Now go to Shefty.
But Shefty is gold though. Yeah. but he's plugged in. But I just wish that the Jones family would have got in front of it and said, you know what, Zack, we gonna pay you, dog. You know, we just put you all up on our Twitter page, man.
Yo, Law, I'm about to have a heart attack in New York. I wonder if people are feeling in Texas right now.
Oh man, the temperature the same right now, man. Zack is all boy, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for calling in.
I appreciate you, Law. Matt, you had to calm me down real quick.
No doubt, man.
Man.
Yes, indeed, man. Zack people is pretty much saying this right now. You know, it is what it is. They are pretty much saying,
What you gonna do, Jerry?
show me the money. Show me the money. And this is the thing, too, Cowboy Nation. Y'all listening? Are y'all sharing this content? Are y'all subscribing to this content? Let's take a quick share break. You know, for those mods, let me know where I like it. How many people are watching? I know the stream is cutting in and out. I appreciate everybody for being part of this, but this money momentum is a real thing. All right, let me know, or we can just shut it down. You know, just let me know. This could be just Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones too, though. Jerry Jones could literally be looking at the news and saying, basically, there's not a lot of content. There's not a lot of Cowboy stuff being talked about. Adam, I got a story for you. Say Zack Martin is disgruntled. Say Zack Martin is upset and angry about his contract. And then we'll get it all aired. We get it all ironed out right before training camp because we need some type of storyline and momentum. I wouldn't even put that past Jerry. I wouldn't put it past Jerry Jones to think that it's such a dead period. I already got the money in the bag for Zack Martin, but let's just fabricate a storyline so we can be out here. Yes, indeed. C. Burleson said it's 106 people likes, okay, and 200 people in the chat. Shame. Yeah, you know, I know God doggone well. We only got 200 people watching this. Shame, man. The ratio is not. We got 100,000 subscribers with only 200 people watching. Shame. That's a shame, man. That's a doggone shame, man. That's how y'all treat me, man, during the off season, man. Y'all ain't even pulling up and watching the nation, man. I bet not see it. This video better stay at 500 views. It better not jump up to 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 views when the video is over with. Because y'all gonna treat me like that, man. Just messing with y'all. All right, I got my guy from the 832. Jeremy, you're live. 832, you're live. Once, twice, 3 times a lady. Thank you. Mark, that drives trucks from the 832. What about you, man? You're live.
Hey. What's up? What's up, Law? What's up? Here you go. There you go, Law, there you go, Law, with your finger on it. Jerry Jones spinning these plates and turning these circus lights on and got everybody juggling.
Right. Because it could be Jerry Jones' move, man. Like, man, ain't nobody talking about my Cowboys. Let me get this thing started, man. Let's set it off in this thing.
We can't have no regular offseason focused on getting to this Super Bowl. Everybody covered. We got to talk about some side chicks. Oh man. I kind of hope it is that. Yeah, Jerry been on that side piece love since he ran Jimmy Johnson off, and you know,
no doubt.
He been on that side, but if that's Zack, I'm going to go. I'll just take the benefit of the doubt and say, if that's Zack Martin, he's making a run at some more money because he can see the writing on the wall. He's going to be out the door in a couple of years, probably by his own doing.
Right.
Zack ain't he's not a dumb guy. He can see the writing on the wall. He ain't by no means fell off, but it's been 10 years, and it could happen. One day he could be Zack Martin. Next game, he's just another guy. And I think he's just making one more run at it before his time is up. And for that, I don't begrudge him. Well,
we had a guy on the team that was 40 last year, Jason Peters, right?
Right.
So Cowboys love to give 5 to 6 year deals anyway. Jerry Jones could have literally picked up the phone and said, "Hey, I'm Zack. We've been trying to crunch the numbers. I know we can have more money on the cap space if we go ahead and extend you now to a 5 to 6 year deal. Let me just put it out there that you're unhappy about this deal. And then we're going to, right before training camp, day of the training camp, we're going to make this breaking news to give you a 5 to 6 year deal. And we see you playing all the way into your 40s. Al's Hainsworth, whatever his name is for the L.A. Rams, I think he played until he was 41. So Zack at the age of 32, 33.
He played that tackle. Yeah, he played that tackle. He was Michael was out there. Michael Parsons spent some of his offseason out there, learning and working on pass rush moves against him.
Yeah. So that could be the situation there.
Jerry stirring the pot, but that's kind of in line with the way Jerry and them handle them contracts anyway.
Right.
They got all these outs in the contract that they take that money, a lot of that salaried money, and they bonus it out, and then they prorate the rest of it over the contract. That's why that contract looks like it looks.
Let me correct the name. Let me correct the name because I think I said Albert Hainsworth, who played for the defensive tackle for the Washington team. Flip said no, it was Andrew Whitworth. I got to put it on the record straight. Andrew Whitworth. My bad, y'all. Appreciate you, Flip.
Yeah, that's his name.
Appreciate you, Flip. But go ahead.
You got it right. but all of that, man, is that's the way Jerry and them manage the cap. See, they like to pay their people, and then they get around a lot of extra money by turning that salary into a bonus.
Yeah.
They pay them that money up front. They've been doing that. And that could be a lot of what's going on with Zack because, even though it's nice to speculate that he's unhappy and he's disgruntled, this is really the first time you've heard Zack Martin say anything about a contract. Anybody in his camp or anything like that.
You know what? I got another conspiracy that I'm gonna say after you get off the phone, though, fam. I got one. Ooh, It's gonna take me a minute to explain too. Oh, wait, man. Wait, one more point before I let Queen on. One more point.
Yeah. One more point, man. Hey, look, like we said, man, you gotta pay your mortgage and not your light bill.
Man,
you should have been taken care of. You should have got Dak extended a couple. Once Dak got halfway through that contract, because it was only a 4-year contract. Once he got halfway through that, you knew you was gonna have to extend it because you was throwing all the money to the end of it anyway. This is what you get for dragging your feet with that.
No doubt. And then you know what you got to do after you pay that mortgage though, and those light bills. There's a thing called the honeydew list. You got to make sure you got to make sure you do that. You laughing like you know about that honeydew list. You got to make sure you solidify that honeydew list.
Yeah. I done had to put that. I done had to put that work in. I done had to put that work in. Yeah. Hey, you don't want it. You don't want the juices to get sour. Boy.
No. Appreciate you, Mark, that drive truck. Me and you on the same level. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed, man. You got to solidify that honeydew list after you done made all of those bills and you made sure you pay everything. And people have the wrong connotations on a lot of things. People think that they broke when they got all of their monies and they paying off. If you could pay all of your bills and pay your mortgage and you ain't got no more money, now you ain't broke. Shoot, you paid all your bills. You got your light bill out the way, your car notes out the way, and your mortgage out the way. Shoot, you ain't broke. Don't ever call yourself broke if you got a chance to pay off all of your bills every month, right? And rice and beans and rice. And shoot, you got your boo thing, your wife next to you. You ain't broke. You got a lot of love in the house. A lot of love making you can make in the house under that cool AC or under those lights, right? So that's just the reality of it, right? But you better do that honeydew list, y'all. Yes, indeed. And speaking of that, I know she know all about it. She's a queen to be. From the 910 Queen Cowboy, you're alive.
How about them Cowboys, Lord?
How about them Cowboys? How about them?
Can you hear me pretty good?
I can hear you well. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think they should go ahead and get Zack Martin taken care of because when he signed that contract, it was a good contract at that time.
Yeah.
But what I don't think that he fathomed was that his position was going to start getting paid a whole lot more money.
True.
And you know what I'm saying? So he's ranked in the 99 club on Madden.
Oh man,
24.
Yep.
And he was all pro. You know what I'm saying? So he knows his value.
Right.
And we are too close, Lord. With this team that we got right now, we are entirely too close for the Joneses to be paying attention.
Right.
And Stevens to comparing to tightening his ass.
Right.
To keep from doing what he needs to do with these players.
Right.
They need to go ahead and take care of that contract.
Right.
And then take care of Diggs. And take care of Zack Martin and whoever else they need to take care of. Because if they go ahead and take care of that, which, you know, you made it clear to me, if they go ahead and take care of that, that'll take care of everything.
Right.
We wouldn't even be having to have this, you know, this conversation. You know, so I just wanted to, you know, put it out there that I feel like we are entirely too close for Jerry and them to be playing games with these players and this money.
Man, you spitting the
I
truth.
I feel like this is our year, and I haven't felt this excited about a season in a very, very, very long time. But this time, I feel like we got it. We have what it takes to get where we want to go, and that's to the bowl, y'all.
Yes, indeed.
So,
ooh-wee.
My opinion: take care of Zack Martin. Get that mess taken care of. Get all this crap out the news. And if that's what y'all want, it click. Y'all got it. But handle your business.
No doubt.
And y'all, Cowboy Nation,
Let them hang to the window, to the wall, baby. To the sweat. Appreciate you, Queen. Yeah, ski. Yes, indeed. But y'all get what Queen is saying, basically. Now to this point right here, I was thinking. Now this is my only conspiracy thinking on this one. And this is just me having a little insight to this from a laughter situation. This is me with a subjective thought, opinion thought, speculation for the nation. Remember we was talking about in order to get these other guys under this contract, right, to get everything going, you got to do Dak Prescott. But what if I told you, like, hey, put that butter knife down. Don't shank me. What if I told you, like Ripley's Believe It or Not? What if they do it with Zack Martin? What if they go ahead and extend Zack Martin for those 4 or 5 years? And whatever money that you have more now into the kitty, you go ahead and take care of Terrence Steele. You go ahead and take care of, dare I say, Trevon Diggs. You go ahead and allow my guy, CD Lamb, to play on that fifth-year option. And then by the year next 2024, you start working on CD Lamb deal, and then you extend him for a long-term situation. They'll break up that money, and then you say, okay, Dak, hey, we betted against you one more time. We're not even going to touch your contract. Now that $50 million or what have you, or pretty much $60 million, if you didn't perform, then we up out of here. That could be the angle of the Jones family, only speaking from speculations, not actual situations. So don't y'all shank me with the butter knife. But that could be the Jones level of thinking too. And I'm just bringing that out, y'all. I'm just bringing that out. Don't beat me up, y'all. But that could be a deal there. I got my guy from the 682 Nation. You live.
Hey, well, how you doing, man?
Man, I can't complain, bro. Can't complain. Talk to me, man.
Okay. First of all, I want to say I was nervous to come up to you. I ain't gonna lie. I was at SportsCon, bro. I saw you on the little radio show live and stuff. So I didn't have time to come see you. I was nervous. I ain't gonna catch you.
Hey, man, come on.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
I was scared, bro.
Come on, man.
Man, come on.
Bro. The only person I got to actually take a picture with was Landlord, man. I was terrified, bro.
Hey, Landlord looking like Marshawn Lynch out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed, man.
That's a lot taller than I thought he was. I ain't gonna lie. I thought Landlord was gonna be a good 5'10".
5'10". Yeah, landlord. Yeah. I pay my rent on time. Come on, yeah.
But I didn't really hear your whole video today. I just woke up and just came to work, so I didn't get to see your video. But what was only Oscar title? What do you mean Zack is holding out? What do you mean?
Well, potentially he may be holding out, but due to the CBA, there's impossible fine. There's too many fines to get hit and bust across the head with when you hold out, and the fines of within the confines of the CBA agreement, you can't even pay them off because normally the NFL will allow the owners to pay off the fines, but no, the players got to pay off their own fines even if they hold out due to the new collective bargaining agreement. So I don't think that there will be holdouts or anyone holding out. But you still can have a disgruntled player, and you don't want that heading into Oxnard weather, man, LA weather, and all of that. So I think that the day before training camp or the day or one of those days during training camp, it'll be some type of breaking news of the Cowboys extending Zack Martin to a unbelievable nice deal that will free up some cap space, and so that we can sign Terrence Steele or Tyler Biadasz or even Trevon Diggs. I think that is what's going to happen.
Okay, so all right, here's my opinion. All right, now what you came from, what you said earlier to extend him, that is, I didn't think about that. That is actually something that might actually be a good idea. Now, what I'm supposed to say, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, a lot, but I think we should extend Zach instead of Dak. Okay. Now hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out. Go ahead.
When I say extend Zach, okay, extending Zach versus extending Dak, okay, here's the two options. You see, Zach is coming to the end of his career, you know, versus Dak that's still in his prime is coming to the end of his prime, okay? Now, what Boss said on the show one time, what if Zack retires at the same time Tyrone retired, you know? Because Tyrone, he's been very injured a lot since he's been with us. Now, I feel like the only thing that's keeping Tyrone and Zack around is the potential to finally win a ring with a team that's been keeping them held down for all these years. You feel me? That's like you finally getting married to that lady that you've been with for 10 plus years. You feel me?
Yeah.
Being in a relationship, you've been through all the tough times, all the hard and stuff, then you finally lock it down, you know? And I feel like that's what Zack is doing, you know? But with Zack, you know, there's a lot of teams that don't have really good offensive linemen now. Now, what I'm about to propose is, should we, like what Derek said, should we start, I think that was Derek, yeah. Should we start shopping Zack next offseason? Now, I said it because, one, he's going to go for a high pick, pretty penny.
Well. The reason why I say that's they're not going to do that because he's already talking about extension. He wanted more money now, right? And either you start shopping him now or you pay him now, and it goes back to the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? So Zack Martin could have been the get along guy, which he's been in the last few years, but he realized, hey, everybody else getting their money, getting their bread, but what about me? And he feels as if if I'm playing at this higher level, if Madden even giving me a 99, I should be getting what those other guys, my contemporaries, getting. And he's going to want that now, juxtaposed to waiting for next year, and also getting slapped in the face of getting traded. So yeah, he's going to want all of that now.
Okay. Well, that's kind of.
Yeah, I know. It smashes all of the argument up because, look, don't nobody want an employee that's disgruntled and not happy about, getting paid the type of money that they're getting paid, right? You want your employees to be happy. You want them to spread their enthusiasm and their good thoughts about organizations. So the Cowboys would be counterproductive if they see their star player complaining about his money and the Cowboys refusing to pay that said guy, and the players that he's talking about all looking at him like, damn, they don't even value enough to pay you. So it's a twofold situation.
Okay. Well, one more thing. Well,
go ahead.
One more thing I have the running back market. Okay. Now, you know how you come across that certain item. Everybody come across a certain item, maybe a TV Black Friday, for example.
True.
You know how you come across those certain items, that are on a very low market, but they're very expensive. Okay?
Right.
Now, I said it because when it comes to Zeke, we all should have knew this was going to happen eventually. Why I say that? Because look what they did to Le'Veon Bell. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other running back,
Todd Gurley.
Used to run for the Rams.
Yeah, Gurley.
Yeah, Todd Gurley. Yeah. So those are two of prime examples. They're kind of a spin image to Zeke Elliott. So when it came to the running back market, when it came to Zeke Elliott, I wasn't surprised. So those two, they did the same exact thing to them two, what they did to Zeke Elliott. When you said the owners are 4 to 5 years ahead, that's 4 to 5 years ahead.
True.
They put it right in our face.
True.
So I don't get why people are surprised now of what the running backs are available for. Now, I say that because as of right now, we could potentially, I'm not saying we need it, but I'm just saying, I know we don't need it, but I just want insurance, okay? Now, I'm saying we have so many prime running backs that still can produce right now.
Right.
You know, just for short-term rental, maybe a year or two, that could potentially groom Tony if we keep Tony, or groom Deuce Vaughn. Deuce is a very short running back, but it would be good to have a mentor like a Dalvin Cook or Eckler or a Kareem Hunt or somebody out there, you know, to help him groom, expect him what to do and what not to do while you're running, what gap to jump in, et cetera, you know? Now,
yeah.
I'm saying it's like, should we just go ahead and try to jump ahead before the market skyrockets? Because the running back market is going to stay low for only so long. Only so long. We all know this.
Right. And I give it what you're saying, Nation. I thank you so much for calling in, and I'll piggyback on what you said, and I will discuss that in a few. Appreciate you, Nation, for calling in, bro. Next time you see me, come on over, man. Come on over, fam.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
No doubt, bro. Salute, man. That's Nation, man, from the 682. We got a super chat from Adrian. It says, let's see how good QBs are when their workload is doubled in a season with pass rushers get doubled the chances of a tee off on quarterbacks. So you're saying that basically, in short, that you're saying that let's see how good quarterbacks are when the workload is doubled, or pressure, like a pass rusher gets inside and tee off on a quarterback. Yeah, that will hurt the numbers. That will alleviate some of the things there. Here's my thoughts, and I thank you so much, Lindsay, for the super chat there. Here's my thoughts on what he said about running backs in general. The name of the game is to buy low and sell high. That's business 101, right? We pump our fists in the air. We do dabs. We do celebratory things when we get something at a low value, right? And then in return, to sell it off and get profit, right? Even when we start talking about gold in general, I tell people buy gold, right? People scoff at these celebrities that wear gold chains or what have you around their neck, or diamonds and rubies and things like that. Well, those things don't depreciate. Those things do appreciate, right, in value. So there's a situation whereas we can be judging them from walking around with all of that glow and that jewelry around their neck or on their wrist, but in actuality, you know, you can buy a watch for $250,000 today, and by the end of the year, by this time January, that watch can be worth $300,000, right? So those people flex differently. The running backs is just different. We've been seeing in the last 10 to maybe 15 years now that running back by committee is the way. The one running back is dying off because of the philosophy and the speed of the game and the concept of allowing receivers to catch the ball in the middle of the field. Now you can send running backs up in the middle on passing routes. Now you can utilize running backs on second down and third downs to be a catcher or a running back in the backfield. Those things are just how it is. This league done changed its way around. So now you have to view running backs differently. For those who stay thinking that it's the same way, going to be stuck in that way, right? And put it like this, even if we had Emmett on this team, he would be considered a split back. He would be considered a back that you have to pair up with someone else. And that's just how it goes. And unfortunately, with this whole running back situation, I would tell you guys this right now, that the Cowboys, they are banking on Tony Pollard. They're banking on RJ. They are banking on Malik Davis. They are absolutely banking on Deuce Vaughn and Malik Davis because they are looking at it like, shoot, there's an Isaiah on this team just like what the doggone Kansas City Chiefs did. This is a copycat league, unfortunately. All right, I got my guy from the 254. You're live on The Nation.
What's going on, La? How you doing, man?
Hey, all is well. Can't complain. Talk to me.
Okay, that's good. on that running back situation, if you're paying your quarterback 9 times out of 10, they're not even going to look at running back past the second round.
Right.
You forget about that, man. So that's just the way the league is going right now.
True.
What if my memory serves me correctly? Zack Martin's first contract, he did the same thing. I want to say he held out. He didn't show up for either OTAs or minicamp. One of the two. He did the same thing in his first negotiations. I don't know if y'all remember. He signed it early, but I want to say he held out, or he didn't come to camp the first day.
And I remember that too. And they went on ahead and paid him. It was like it wasn't a long conversation.
It was not a long conversation.
Right.
Same thing. He was still on his rookie deal. He was on his rookie deal, and he wanted to be extended, and he didn't show up. They got it done like the next day.
They got it done the next day. Yo.
Right.
But that was like right around training camp. Right around training camp. It wasn't like this off period right now, building up to it. Right.
Right. It was right around training camp. I do remember that. So that intel right there just kind of shows me that this is not. This probably wasn't blindsided by the Cowboys. They probably knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
What really upsets me about this front office is Lord, what have they been preaching all the last few years about the salary cap?
Oh man, the pie.
They're saving money. The pie.
The pie
has to go around. The pie has to go around. Okay. When is it time to cut that pie? Because the pie can only stay hot for so long.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're not serving your people pie, they're going to go down the street to Aunt Susie's house, and they're going to start reaching for her pie. You know what I'm saying? So you can't sit here and tell me that we it's not bad and we can't pay all and we want to pay our own guys, and you haven't paid your own guys. You had all off season to pay your own guys. Now you're going into a pivotal season, a season where you're saying, okay, look, we're doing everything we need to do to win, except pay the guys that's been here to help you get to this point. It frustrates me because I really feel like if Stephen Jones wasn't in this equation, I think a lot of these guys would have been paid already.
You know what? You know what? We kind of like speaking from this aspect. When someone make a definitive statement saying we like our guys, that pretty much put yourself or paint yourself into a corner. When in actuality, you shouldn't like none of these people, right? You should be looking at it like I'm trying to will and deal our guys. I'm trying to get rid of my guys to replace my guys with better guys. And I know it's crass for someone to say that, but that's just how it is. There's different expectations from you to an employee, right? For example, Google, when they fired about 50 to I think 100 of their employees, they showed up to work one day with their badges, right, and couldn't get into the building, right? But the expectations from the employee is different. The employee must do this, Leslie. They must be able to say, hey, let me put in a 2-week notice, right? Let me put in notice or references of letting people know that I'm finna leave said company. But on the flip side, it's not granted for the business to do you a 2-week notice, right? Google didn't give those people 2 to 3 week notice saying, hey, we finna fire you. And the same should be said even with ESPN. They didn't give those people over there, hey, man, 2-week notice, man, we finna get rid of you, right? Meaning, like Dez Bryant.
Prime example.
Right, prime example. So these companies, they will lie to kick it with you anytime. They don't like you. They are wolves in sheep clothing, right? So basically, they may pay you long as you generating and producing, but the moment you get any levels of predictability of not being able to produce, they will let you go in a cocaine, crackhead heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. That's ruthless. That's how business always been.
Yep, and the sad thing about it is the last CDA, they could have took. They were in bad. I don't know whoever was running that leadership for the players. They got smoked. They got smoked big time.
They did.
The the crazy thing about it was I want to say I don't know which show it was I was watching or listening to. I replayed it. When they go back to that negotiating table, the players are going to ask for this franchise tag or the running backs to be paid separately. But do you think that the owners are going to say, yeah, we'll give you that? No. The owner's going to say, yeah, we'll give you that, but you got to give us this.
Yep.
They're not going to just give you something because it's wrong. They're going to say, okay, yeah, we know it's wrong, but if you get that, then we want an 18 game.
Right, we want 18 games. Yeah.
We want 18 games.
and it's backwards, though. It's so backwards, fam, because what they asked for, it really hurt them in return. They asked for less pad days. They asked for less practice, right? And now you're seeing more in the NFL soft tissue issues, right? You're seeing more and more freak accidents because these boys are not built for these moments as it relates to this long endurance of a schedule. And who am I to say sitting in a comfortable chair, right, with temperature controlling to whatever degree I want it to be in this room? But the players ask for, hey, these are the things we want. We want more guaranteed money. We want this and that, and we want less practicing. Meaning that the teams that suffer the most are the groups like the offensive line because those guys needed those 2 days. They needed that time to dwell together. But now we're seeing the repercussions or the trade-off that they're getting now. But go ahead.
One last thing, Law. The thing that really hurt those players, and I really don't think they understood what they were signing when they did it, was that franchise tag. That franchise tag and the way that the way it's able to be used is pretty much it's a career killer. So a player can be drafted in the first round. Let's say CeeDee Lamb, or even Trevon Diggs. We sign you.
Right.
You play 4 years for us. We franchise tag you. You get your money that year. Okay, you had a good year. We're gonna do you one even worse. We're gonna franchise tag you again. A la DeMarcus Lawrence.
Right.
You're going to have to prove it again.
Right.
Now, this player has played 7 years in the league. Now, luckily, DeMarcus Lawrence got his money even after the second contract. But a lot of these players, you're beat up.
Yeah.
And this ain't college. This ain't college basketball where you could come straight out of high school into the NBA and you don't have much wear and tear on your body. A lot of these guys, 3 years, they were the bell cow for their college team. So they got wear and tear on their body already.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you got those 3 years from college, now you got 6 years in the NFL, and now you're used up.
You are.
Where you going to get that money from? Where you going to get that second, third contract from?
Man, you preaching now, bro. It's like that nice car. The moment you drive it out of the parking lot, it depreciates. It's literally there. From a running back perspective, and it's crazy, right?
Look at Deuce Vaughn.
Look at him.
Deuce Vaughn.
And
he's not gonna get his chance for another 4 years.
To get back to the table.
Right. Yep. To get back to the table, he got 4. Yeah, and then they can do what they did to Pollard, franchise tag.
And to be fair, it's crazy. They got 3 years, regardless of how much Michael Parsons talk about this and that. They got 3 years to his name, right? They got all of next year. They got technically they could put 2 back-to-back franchise tags on him. So he's a product of the Cowboys. Regardless of what it is, he's a product of the Cowboys, and he can't do nothing about it.
He has to show up because of the CBA. Like you said, there's no way around it.
No way around it.
Only thing you'll miss is you might can miss training camp. You might can miss part of preseason, whatever. Saquon Barkley will be a New York Giant. He may not play for week 1 versus the Cowboys because they might say he's not ready, but he will show up. He has no choice.
The CBA agreement is like Adam 22. When he agreed to allow that dude to do what he needed to do against his lady, it's the exact same thing. And now you want to get mad about it? You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube now, buddy. The walls, them sugar walls are damaged, So it's just what it is. You can't read it.
Hey, Lord, believe it right there. Hey, y'all have a wonderful day. Hey, y'all like, share, and subscribe to my boy Law. And please, 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 keep your toothpaste out of the tube.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Don't add them 20 to it. Yeah, appreciate you. Yes, indeed. That's just what it is. You can't do nothing about it now. You know what I'm saying? The damage is done. So now you got to play it out. You gonna have to live with what you decided to agree with. He had all of the cards until he gave it away. And the CBA is exactly what it is, you know. So, hey, them sugar walls are gone now. It would never be the same. So, at the end of the day, Adam 22 is the equivalent of what this CBA agreement is, because these players, regardless of whether or not they like, look, right now, the Cowboys got the strong arm over Zack Martin if they really want to play that way. But I doubt it they would do that situation that way. But it is what it is. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna like me though, but she ain't gonna ever be the same. She walking back differently nowadays. You know, that's just how it is. That's how the players looking right about now. They done fool around and signed the wrong agreement, and now they're walking around with this type of situation. Looking. Boy, y'all wasn't ready for that one today. But I got the 469. What's on your mind? You're live on the Nation.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
All right, Lo. This is my first time calling on the show, man.
What's good, man? What's your name, man? Let me save you in here, man.
This Rebel, man.
Rebel, okay. Let me save you. Hold on. I don't know why I got the other name, and I ain't gonna say that, you know. But I got you in here, Red. Talk to me, man.
Nah, man. Speaking of Adam 22, can you hit that sound bite for me real quick, man? When you lay your head on that pillow at night. Come on,
all I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, you know, I gave you everything I had. I gave you everything I
had. Talk to me, man. Oh my goodness, talk to me, man.
What do you call it? You had a great show last night, Lo. I want to give a shout out to Jesse Holly, man. He'd be spinning facts most of the time with OC.
Man, he was on it.
Yeah. But anyways, I wanted to talk about that Zack Martin situation. About let's just say, I mean, like y'all were previously saying, I mean, he's 32. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, he's done a real good job for us the past, I don't know, like a decade.
Forever,
but it's
man.
Just like you were saying, it's like it's like we could extend him for another 2 or 3 years. It's just that we also got other people coming up on their contracts as well, like you were talking about earlier. Yeah, we got Diggs coming up. We got Tony Pollard coming up. We got CD. We got Dak. We got Micah on the way. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that, man, about talking about who's probably going to be left out.
Somebody's going to be left out if they don't go ahead and extend either Dak Prescott or work this deal out with Zack Martin now. I do look at it, too, whereas there's this other thing that a lot of people are not talking about. The overall salary cap is about to increase about $89 to $100 million. It's about to be a big jump. The TV rights deal about to come through in 2024. I think it's $111 billion with a B with Amazon and beyond. So there's a lot of money that's about its way finna make its introduction here, right? And if we know this, guess what? The agents know this. The actual agents that's going back and forth doing all of the dirty work with the owners, they know this. And they trying to get in front of it and saying, hey, the money is about to hit. Go ahead and pay my man now, because to be fair to the players, they know that every single play, they are one hit away from being like Ryan Shazier. And I'm not using this to make fun of, right? I'm using this to draw a line, whereas these guys are putting their bodies out there, and this is like a gladiator type of sport. So as an agent, you're going to want to get in front of this and say, hey, pay my man before this deal has been announced, so that he can get the max amount of money, so it won't be getting the money on the back end when it's all used up. Let's go ahead and pay my man now. That's how they looking at this. Leverage.
Oh, okay. I don't want to take up too much of your time, Lo. That's all I wanted to ask, pretty much.
No doubt, Red. Appreciate you, man. From the 469, baby.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, I gave you everything I had. I gave you everything I had.
That boy was crying. All right, Jeremy, man, from the 832. I'm gonna circle back to you, man. Are you available now? 832, Jeremy, you live.
Yeah, I'm available now, man. Whew.
Yeah.
Y'all and these Cowboys are killing me, man. Y'all killing me.
Killing me, Jones. You're killing me.
Oh, man, you're killing me. Why we just can't just pay our players early, man? Like, we making it so hard on ourselves. Like, I believe, like, if we don't win soon, man, Jerry gonna let his son just like it seems like we just making it a cow machine. It's just a cash. It's just a piggy bank to him. Like, I don't see like what direction he's going in. Like, trying to attain like great players, and cause like that's basically like some of our mystique. Like, as a Cowboys, like we have those great names and they carry the legacy of the team, and it's like we trying to go away from that, and that's not going to help us win. Like that's kind of like our mystique as well.
Well,
like,
let me say this though: success is subjective, right? It's very subjective. So when we start talking about this team and we start saying, well, this team, from our perspective as fans, we haven't been successful to the degree of being in the Super Bowl, lifting up that Lombardi trophy since 1995-96 season. But from the Jones family from their point of view, they've been very successful. Between that time frame, a helipad been bought, a yacht, 2 facilities that's well over $3 billion. He's been introduced into the Hall of Fame, right? And on top of that, we are leading in all of the major views as it relates to marketing and rating and things like that. So from his perspective, he's very successful. This team's been a success. They don't have to work out there in the sun with their hands to get dirty, right? So there are generations like Jones Jr., right, will be able to just live off the fruit of their labors. So I think that there's no extra added motive to win another Super Bowl or to get all the way up there to lift up that Lombardi trophy. They can just sit back on autopilot and let this thing play out because they already see themselves as a success.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I believe that's gonna hurt us because like all we had to do was just like pay players a year or two before their time, and we'll be so far under the salary cap, it'll be ridiculous. Because, like, you can project certain players to where they're going to be. I understand, like, certain injuries, like, because, like, even though we gave Zeke that money, we gave it to him early, so we was able to get from up under it in a reasonable time. Like, if you would have did that with Dak, like, he'll be making $30 million a year. If you would have did that, you're going to do that with Diggs and you're going to do that with Lamb, like, you give them their money now, 2.5, 3 years to they rookie deal, like, we'll be set for 5 years. Like, I feel like they not doing that enough, and it's costing us in the long run. And then we have to play with these minimal players. We got all these people we got to get off the practice squad to help us out, like, and then when we get into the playoffs, that's when it hurt us. But
let me ask you this, though. What is your definition of a philosophy?
Basically, basically a successful program that get you from point A to point B,
right?
Consistently.
So a philosophy can be flawed, right? It could be a way of thinking, a logical way of thinking from your point of view. So the Cowboys' philosophy is this right here. If a player's hurt, we will visit them. We will try to offer them a long-term conversation and a long-term contract. the philosophy comes from this. You've seen it done with Tyrone Crawford, right? He got hurt. They gave him a long-term deal. They offered him a big bag. Barry Church, he got hurt. They offered him a long-term situation. Just recently, my guy Michael Gallup, he got hurt. They said, okay, let's approach him. Let's offer him a deal. Even if you go back to Dak Prescott, remember, he was put on the franchise tag twice. The first quarterback in Cowboys history to be put on the franchise tag, by the way. And he was put on the franchise tag twice, and on his second time, 5 games or 4 games in, he broke his leg or what have you, and they said, you know what? Let's pony up and give him this long-term deal. And everybody was sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen with Dak Prescott. Could he play back to the level that we were seeing in 2020? And he gave us bits and pieces of that in 2021. And then in 2022, just last season, he broke his thumb. And the expectation is still for them to see what he did in 2020, when all of this could have been avoided if you went on ahead and paid him up front. He wouldn't have put the no trade clause on his contract. You would have been able to see a player with less pressure. The Cowboys pre-pressure their players organically. You know, they put a lot of pressure on Michael Gallup because from the fan base, we're not in the pain of the players, but we are looking at the money of the players, and we want the result. So when Michael Gallup got hurt, they wanted everybody who watched the game, they wanted the Michael Gallup before he got hurt to be back out there on the field. When Dak got hurt, they wanted the Dak Prescott before he got hurt back out there on the field. And you see the trend, right? So the Cowboys put this pre-pressure on the players with their philosophy. Crazy that it is, but that's the Cowboys way.
Yeah, and I don't like it at all. Like, to me, it's disastrous. Like, when it comes down to it, like, because, like, we could have easily, like how Michael Parsons, he wanted a linebacker last year. We could have easily afforded that if they would have paid people early. Like, players, like, because, like, players understand, like, when they need, what we need help and what we can be dominant at for at least 4 years. If we can have a 4-year gap being dominant on either side of the ball, I don't care which side of the ball it is. And if you can acquire those players, you have the money to do it. Like, those are the type of things we can be doing.
Yeah.
And I believe we would have at least been within this Dak regime. If they would have did that, we would have at least been to 2 NFC Championship games, at least.
No doubt,
if
bro.
If they would have done that. And they're just my 2 cents on it, man. Still Cowboys for life, but man, I wish they do a little bit better.
Man, no doubt, man. I appreciate you for calling in, and I thank you for your patience and your time holding on that line, fam. Appreciate you, dog.
Thank you.
Salute. I fooled around, hit the wrong button on them earlier. Appreciate everybody, man, for being part of these episodes, man, these conversational line. Again, man, it just would not be possible without your support and your love and adulation for the nation. I thank all of you guys. Let's tune into this one more time.
Law Nation, we are here live at SportsCon, and this was not just a good event. This is a great event. Let's watch. SportsCon code of conduct. Let's go.
No doubt. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The name is Law Nation. As on my way out, I just want to say, y'all, I thank y'all so much for what you guys been doing for the nation. Unbelievable growth and unbelievable opportunities that's presented to me as we continue to grow. Sponsorships coming left and right. It's crazy. Sometimes I got to pinch myself to see whether or not this is a dream or this is the reality of it. This Glover, this is Law Nation. Who cares about Jerry Jones? Money. A lot of what money can buy were y'all playoffs wins and Super Bowl runs. Y'all is so delusional. It's insane. No, because for one, I appreciate you for watching. But for one, why are you here? That would be crazy to listen to someone that's delusional, right? That means that you are part of the delusion, right? If you're not with us, right? And then on top of that, it's not about his personal money. We were talking about success, and success is subjective. And where he see it, he is very successful. We talking about Jerry Jones. And on top of that, the only part of it is out of the 27 years, I can count on pretty much this right here, 6 years, almost one hand, when we had a real coach, and that was Bill Parcells, and previously now out of Mike McCarthy and / Dan Quinn. So no. The only people that's delusional are the people that say that you are delusional for listening to what we have to say, right? So that's crazy. And on top of that, Cowboy Nation, you never met a hater doing better than you, right? So I haven't found not one Eagle troll or Giants troll or anybody who profess that they are a content creator doing better than me. So that's crazy. That's crazy how it is, But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. Enough of that time on that person or anyone who think that they can talk to me in any type of shape, form, or fashion, because I am the best. Y'all know how it goes. The results speaks for itself. And Cowboy Nation, hear me out with this. In departing, leaving out of here, the Cowboys still got to do what they need to do. Get ready and be prepared for this training camp. Be ready and be prepared for this offseason to be over with. Continue to grind. Continue to work on your individual accolades. Continue to be better at your PR, your personal best or personal records that you're trying to overcome and try to achieve. Get ready. Because at the end of the day, none of this stuff means a hill of a beans. I've seen multitudes of people say, well, what about this law? And what about that law? No one is winning the Super Bowl every year. No one is winning the Super Bowl every year. No one is winning the Super Bowl every year. That is the reality of it. The thing that Tom Brady did was very slim. I don't foresee anyone doing what Tom Brady did in his beautiful career again. Now, proof could be that someone is striving to do that, but chances and opportunities is going to have to present itself very greatly upon this one. And the reality of it is, how do you get better one day at a time, one movement at a time, and stacking your greatness upon each other? And then when you look back, you can sit back and say, these are the things that I build with my hands. I had someone to tell me, Law, why are you working with all of that sweat? Well, it did state that this said from this good book that a man shall work by the sweat of his brow. And as old as I am, and as long as I try to live on this dimension, I'm going to work by the sweat of my brow. I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outperform you. I'm going to outpunch you. I'm going to outrun you. I'm going to continue to fight. And fighting is the way. That what builds greatness. That what builds the opportunity. Law, how can you speak on those things? Because I've been down there in the valley. I'm going through it right now, right? We all going through something. But how you going through it is states this: thank God I don't look like what I've been through. Come on, baby. But write these things down too, Cowboy Nation, and everyone that's listening. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired and it makes you hold everything taut in your cheek. If life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty or famish or fame or the sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the very much thing that you want. If dogged and greed and besiege and beset, with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation and anyone that's listening, shout out to you, Bree, with the $4.99 for your mind, says, in Dak I trust, let's prove them wrong. But if dogged and grim and besiege and beset, with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, you will get it. You will get it. The universe will open up to you. Platforms will open up to you. People will stop in awe of you. Greatness breeds greatness. Favor will follow you. How? Your mind. The law of attraction. True story. I didn't have the VIP pass pulling up to SportsCon. I didn't have the VIP pass pulling into the car lot or the parking lot. But everything is in perfect time and perfect moments. Doors will open up for you. And I was looking for a parking spot, but my mind said, pull right here. The doors will open for you. Didn't second guess it. Pull right up. Someone said, you, Law Nation, come on through. How did I get there? Sweat equity, time, persistence, dedications, hard work, discipline. For my episodes that I put out here, bring me opportunities to open up doors and alleyways elsewhere. People are watching, people are seeing, and the haters are mad. And I'm glad about it. Cowboy Nation, if we do what we need to do, if we put in the work, block out all of the outside noise, block out all the haters, don't worry how they twist your words for knaves, to make a trap for fools. If you continue to do what you do best, doors and alleyways will open up for you, even Rain Dakota Prescott or even Tony Pollard. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Shout out to Sniper Gang. Appreciate y'all. Come on now.
Damn. Damn.
Let's go.
Whoa. Give me my theme music.
Hey. Hey. Come on.
I just wanna run it up.
Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established. When the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one.
I just wanna run it up.
Come on.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up. Yeah. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives. Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play. Charge it to the game.
Come on.
I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend.
Who with Law, baby?
I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me.
Come on.
I mix Nike with designer, I experiment.
Hey.
You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I have to take it to a meal. Lately I
but it goes to show you who's the better team, and I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go Birds, fly, Eagles fly, still Super Bowl champs.
All Nation, we are here live at SportsCon, and this was not just a good event, this is a great.
I can't make this stuff up. Man, y'all let me know. Let's get on up out of here, man. One love, man. Y'all know I got to pick at them all the time. hey, man, I can't make this stuff up, man. Come on.
take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out, breathe you in.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Yeah. Take a bite of my burger, babe. Save the last bite for you.
Gracia, appreciate you, Brandon. Iceberg, yo. Etta, one love, Scorpio. Appreciate you, Patrice. Ghost, Face, Killer, appreciate you. Like everybody, hit that like, share this content. Come on. Ghostface Gaming, my bad. Let's go. Fresh King 3-6. Choctaw, my dog. Trip Aces. Let's go.
Whatever you do, play it too.
Gina with the G. What's good? And shout out to Gina with the J. Verde, so over it. Appreciate you. James Washington. Let's go. And another one. Lisa, one love to you. Lick love. Michael, appreciate you. And Tim. T Foster. Let's go. Troy Moore, Thomas A. Garrett. Let's get it. It's danger, baby.
You know it's dangerous.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Don't let the street.
Until next time.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Patrice. I follow.
Wherever you go.
Come on.
Whatever you do, play it too.
Bond, what's good? Kobe, not the cheese, but DC for life. Let's get it. C-Los, my dog.
Doesn't feel that far. So far.
All I ask
So far.
is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, I gave you everything I gave you everything I had.
Then forever doesn't feel that far. So far. Lay your head on my pillow and just relax.
Now, so the cocaine's happening.
CT
When
man,
does that
what's
crack
good?
come into play?
Shout out to you, my dog. Let's go. Let's get it one way or another. Until next time.
You have
Like
to
this
be
motherfucker.
your
don't
biggest
miss.
fan.
No, he's
And
good. That
when
motherfucker
things are
don't
really
miss,
tough and
man.
they're really
He's
rough,
good.
and
In the heat
nothing's
of battle,
working,
he don't miss.
but there's
In the heat of
something inside of me
controversy,
that
he don't
says,
miss.
I just have to follow that because you don't know who you're going to meet.
If I offended